Ebanie Bridges, big smile. Thank you very much for joining us. Another big press conference today. Hardly any turnaround time. I know we've chatted a couple of times over Zoom, but we're here now. People are here. Things are getting a bit more real. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. This is a bit more obviously normality. With the press conference like this, with all the media and us being all situated close together and stuff. So it's really feeling like things are starting to get a little bit back to normal here in the UK for fight fans. And, big 20,000 fans this weekend, fans at the weigh-ins, it's feeling really good.
What does that do to your mindset going into a fight? How does it differ between behind closed doors, bubbles and all the rest of it?
Man, fans give you life. You know what I mean? They give you energy. I think they give you. It's something special when you got the fans there screaming for you. It's obviously a little bit of a different thing. Without the fans, you don't fight for the fans as much. So maybe I might be a little bit more disciplined at times. But in the end, I love to entertain, and having the fans there, that's who I want to entertain. So it's good for me. It's what I'm born for, what I'm built for. So I'm excited.
It has been a short turnaround time in between fights, and I know that you've said a couple of times you've had little niggles, little injuries, things to get over. Physically, how are you doing?
I'm feeling really strong. It seems to be always. In the prep, the hardest part about a fight is always the camp. The fight's kind of so to speak, the easy part, but it's getting through the camp that's tough. And I feel good now that I'm here. The taper week, the light week now, so it's good on my body. We have that rest. That's why we have that rest week, and then I'm ready to fight on the weekend.
I heard you were saying you did something to a lat last time out, which is I know from experience is a tricky one to overcome.
Bad,
How did that hamper you in the last fight, if at all?
I was blessed that it didn't. I had it was about 4 weeks that I did it before, but then I kept pushing through it in training, and I tore it more about 3 weeks out, and so then that was it. I had to stop. I couldn't lift my arm. I couldn't put my arm out. Nothing. I had to train one arm. I had to put something under my arm to make sure I didn't even throw that arm, because even just a little bit of movement really aggravated it. But I had a good physio team that was giving me a lot of rehab, and I just was like, what's the word? Obsessive with my rehab. Every hour, 2 hours, all I did was my rehab for 3 weeks leading into my fight. And then I think it was the Wednesday of fight week, I was able to start punching the pads again. And it felt good. And the recovery was good, and it was fun in the fight. And it was funny because I hardly threw my left, and I liked my left hand. But it was the right hand that I'd been practicing for just 3 weeks that had me win that fight, you know what I mean? So, everything happens for a reason. And it just means that my right hand was sharper.
I assume, although I won't do the talking for you, I assume given the short turnaround in time, there might be a little bit of a well-earned break after this one.
Yes, definitely. I can't wait for the break. But got business to do this weekend, and I can celebrate with going home and seeing family and loved ones. And my body's going to love that, definitely. I'm in the older side now. I'm not fresh 20, 25, 30.
Don't say it.
But my body needs a rest. It does. I've been in prep since, if not before Christmas, because I fought in March, and then 4 weeks later I fought Shane Courtney, and then 4 months later I fought, Beck, and then 4 weeks later I'm fighting, Gangloff now. So it's constant.
Talk to me a little bit about Gangloff. What kind of fight do you expect on Saturday night? I know you expect it to be a little different from Beck Connolly, but how and why?
Yeah. Well, she's a European French champion. I think she's more skilled than Beck. Definitely, she's tough though. She has that tough mindset, which I've seen her with Scotney. She can definitely take a punch, and she likes to give them. So I definitely see a really close quarter fight. From what I see, she likes to fight on the inside. She likes to give that space. Doesn't like to hold and hug. It looks like that's not something she does. I think it could be a really nice, neat, clean but hard fight.
I noticed her English has improved a little bit. Do you speak any French too?
No. I don't speak any French, no.
I just want to speak about Enzo Macronelli for a moment. So obviously, we've seen online you two working together. I think I'm right in saying he's here somewhere today. Just tell us a little bit how that came about, what you've been working on with Enzo, and how the relationship is in general.
Well, me and Enzo have been talking for a year and a half, or something, maybe almost 2 years now. On Twitter, through boxing, because I love talking boxing, and he likes to have a good joke and a good banter like me. We've got very similar laughs and similar humour. So we kind of clicked in that way, and then he watches my fights. He's I always talk to him boxing every time there's boxing on, or he's chatting. So I used to send him my sparring and be like, hey, what do you think? And he'd give me tips, and I'd go and do it, and then it would work, and so that was kind of he knows how I fight. He knows how I work. You know, things that he's told me that I've gone and done have worked. So because I couldn't get back to the US to be with my American trainers, you know, Brian and Kaylee, because of COVID restrictions, I thought that Enzo was the best fit, and it was really good in Wales. I have friends in Wales that I could stay with. So yeah, it all worked really well. I learned some really good things with Enzo. You know, we know he's a power puncher. We know he's a very similar style to me, except that he's like 6 foot whatever. But we do have that same kind of power punching style. And yeah, so we really worked on everything that I've been doing with the Americans, but really focused a lot on creating that space so I can really use all my power.
Well, listen, I'm going to let you crack on.
Thank you. Yeah,
you're in demand. Thank you very much, though, and good luck for Saturday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thanks.